Warning. Curse of Strahd. Spoilers ahead. We rejoin Xaeli the Ranger, Nala the Druid, Barakas the Rogue, Torrin the Paladin, Boblia, Zandala, Irina, Casimir, and 2 toddlers just as the party prepares to enter the Wizard of Wine's winery and deal with the hostile druids inside. Casimir has opted to remain outside the winery, given his magic is largely fire and lightning based. For her safety, Irina is going inside, and it's for the best. Evil lurks in every corner of Barovia. Before we continue, please make sure you've subscribed to my channel. It helps me out a lot. Become a patron for exclusive insights in my series after the episode. Situated in the midst of the vineyard, the winery is an old, 2-story stone building with multiple entrances. Thick ivy climbs every wall while iron fencing runs along its roofline. The trail ends at an open loading dock on the ground floor. West of the winery is a crumbling stone well and a wooden outhouse. This is a surprisingly large building. Let's try going through one of the smaller entrances, like by that shack there.
The outhouse?
Right there? Seriously?
It doesn't seem like something that would exist if people planned well.
Barakas appreciates the proximity of the outhouse to the house. As the party debates their options for entry, they hear the rustling of dead vines as inhuman shapes emerge from the vineyard, their limbs cracking as they trudge forth through the mist and rain. Nala quickly counts 30 bodies. Well, that's not great. I want to try something, but the amount of nearby trees has me concerned.
We're not dying here. Come on, Zandy.
Xaeli drags Zandala and Boblia into the winery. With the exception of Torrin and Nala, the rest of the party follows suit. Inside, Xaeli can hear someone, or something, snoring in a nearby area. She gasps as she recognizes the figure, a man from her past who had long disappeared. A drunkard man, trapped by the mists. Xaeli runs over and tries to wake him, but realizes he's in a deep stupor from, you guessed it, alcohol poisoning. Xaeli laughs to herself as she carefully pours a potion of healing down the man's throat. It helps reduce the poisoning, but he does not stir. As the party trickles into the winery, Xaeli continues to pour healing potions down the man's throat.
Get up. We gotta go.
What? The man stares at Xaeli and clearly recognizes her, but seems as if he's debating whether or not Xaeli is an illusion. He doesn't have long to decide as Xaeli drags him into the group. Hissing and screeching echo from outside the winery as plant creatures break into a sprint, trying to attack Nala. One of them grabs a hold of Nala, but Torrin's flame tongue manages to burn it away. Nala, it's time to go. Barakas is inside this house. Further inside, please. It's a tight space. Barakas runs inside without looking and collides with the strange man, sending them both to the ground. The familiar smell of fermenting wine fills the large chamber, which is dominated by 4 enormous wooden casks that are 8 feet wide and 12 feet tall. Stacked against the wall beneath the balcony are old, empty barrels with the Wizard of Wines burned into their sides. Underneath the side balconies are several doors, some of which hang open. Beneath the sloping roof, scores of ravens have quietly gathered on thick rafters, watching the party with great interest.
Birds in the rafters?
The balcony creaks, drawing eyes to a wild-looking figure over one of the fermentation vats that pours a flask of thick syrup into the wine. A tiny creature made of twigs skitters across the floor. Nala rushes into the winery, slams the door shut, and locks it. Not sure if it'll hold, but we're here now. Not wanting to lose sight of the creature, Xaeli charges across the room, and is confronted by no fewer than 30 twig blights ready to attack her.
No, I'm a friend! Friend!
Xaeli proceeds to say friend in all her known languages. Unfortunately for her, she doesn't share a common language with the blights. Not that it would help. Luckily for her, the ravens bristle with rage at the sight of the twig blights and caw restlessly.
Guys, I just walked into some I was not prepared for. Help!
Oh dear. Does anyone know what these are or how to kill them? Nope. Boo. Wow, that's a lot of food. Hissing and screeching, large groups of ravens descend from the rafters and dive bomb the twig blights. The party hears chanting from the figure above as vicious lengths of vines snake up from the ground, ensnaring Nala and Zandala. The twig blights throw themselves against Xaeli's armor to little effect. Esmeralda runs over to Xaeli's aid and begins swinging wildly with her weapons. Don't worry, Xaeli. They'll be gone before you know it. I'd use fire, but there's so much wood in here. What can I use?
Whatever you've got.
Smaller fire? Zandala casts Fly on Xaeli. The door behind Nala shudders as the blights outside assault the ancient wood. Perfect. Can't see through the door, though I guess that works in our favor. Barakas runs forward and throws himself at the twig blights surrounding Xaeli. The blights are confused by Barakas' actions before Barakas tries to bite into them. These f***ing vines are obnoxious. Torrin, can you slash these and hold the door? I'm going to look for a way outside to deal with that all upstairs. Torrin pulls Nala out of the vines before Nala transforms into an owl and flies into the center of the winery. She quickly spies the troublesome druid and flies at their face, trying to rake the druid's eyes with her claws. Nala connects and tears into the druid's eye sockets with horrifying effect. Perhaps understandably, the druid loses concentration on its spell as it shrieks and tries to get Nala off its face. A deep rumbling can be heard from below. Xaeli disengages from the twig blights and flies over to Zandala, though she commands Boblia to charge forward and help attack the twig blights near Barakas. The ravens continue to attack the twigs, tearing the blights to pieces with frightening savagery. Barakas and Boblia are the only nearby targets, causing the blights to try and surround them. The druid Nala blinded hurls flame in Nala's direction, which misses but starts a small fire on the far balcony. The door is beginning to fracture under the stress from the outside attackers. Torrin does his best to brace the door while Zandala drops her concentration on her fly spell and faces the outer door. A southern door flies open as vine blights shamble into the fight, attacking Boblia and Barakas. Speaking of, Barakas has spent this whole time trying to bite twig blights. He's not particularly great at it, but he can kill them just quickly enough that Barakas decides this is how he'll spend the fight. At least he objects to the taste. Ugh, you guys taste bad. Stop eating junk food. Owlform Nala tries to fly past the thrashing druid and gets smacked by a staff for her trouble. She's knocked out of the air and onto Zandala on the floor below. Out of the southern room previously occupied by vine blights, a chilling, guttural laughter echoes up a staircase. A figure clad in erratic, almost living armor emerges and begins the casting of a spell. The spell transforms all remaining blights into wolves. Dire wolves. The figure then morphs into an armored fire elemental and all nearby wood is set ablaze. The outside door is shattered by the vine blights, who immediately set upon Torrin as he tries to hold the entrance. You help with the wolves, I'll help Torrin.
Novril, f***ing do something.
The strange man, Novril, who has been slumped against the wall this whole time, sort of picks himself up, knocks his bow, and fires. Barakas is hungry. Barakas will tame one of these wolves.
Get you some wolf meat, Barakas.
Yippee-ki-yay. Barakas got a pet. Barakas will call this bear Bakadas. Ha ha! Torrin, duck. Oh, great. Nala chants with a deep resonance as a firestorm descends from the sky, blanketing the vineyard in an inferno. You're creating a firestorm on the winery? The winery where we are? If we're going to get surrounded by a ton of stuff, I'm going to worry about creatures now and buildings later.
Well, we're in the building, though.
That's true. Xaeli whips out her staff of the python, transforms it into a giant snake, and has the snake grapple one of the wolves. Barakas's wolf heaves Barakas off its back and whirls around, baring its teeth. Bad, Bakadas. Barakas gave you a name. The fire elemental chases over to Nala, igniting its surroundings as it slashes her. Zandala suddenly gets an idea and polymorphs herself into a water elemental, shooting streams of water to douse most of the recent fires. Freed from the blights at the door, Torrin joins the melee inside the winery, hacking his way towards Irina and Esmeralda. Irina and Esmeralda are standing back to back, battling the nearby wolves. Barakas hurls himself back atop Bakadas, trying to regain control of his mount. Bakadas has other ideas and Barakas is hurled to the ground. Bad Bakadas! After unsuccessfully trying to kill Nala, the fire elemental hacks its way to Esmeralda and badly wounds her. Da, Bakadas! Down, boy! Can I please get some assistance? Nala conjures a healing spirit and sends it careening over to Esmeralda, stopping her bleeding but leaving the evidence of many fresh wounds. Xaeli runs over, pulls out her spear, and stabs the fire elemental. The fire elemental attacks Esmeralda and the latter collapses to the ground, breathing faintly. Xaeli, Nala, Torrin, and Irina focus their attacks on the fire elemental and force it back into druid form. Barakas is off in the other corner of the winery, still grappling Bakadas. Bad Bakadas. Barakas will send you to bed with no dinner. Oh, bad bear. Why do I have the desire to cast a bunch of fire spells? Because Zandala will just put them out? I need to diversify my elements next chance we get. Nala casts Blight at the druid, causing the druid to screech in pain as part of her body starts to rot. Torrin steps back from attacking the druid to cast Beacon of Hope, supercharging the nearby healing spirit. Bakadas, hold still. Barakas is mad at you. The druid chants a spell that causes her staff and armor to echo before fiery hounds burst into existence and attack Torrin, trying to interrupt his spell. Upstairs, Zandala's water elemental form emits a noise best described as a disgruntled groan. Seriously?
Are you f***ing kidding me?
Then, the druid transforms herself back into the fire elemental. But before the druid transforms, Nala hears a whisper.
Boo!
You suck.
Go back to school, you piece of shit, druid.
Torrin barely manages to hold on to Beacon of Hope as Xaeli and Nala rapidly start healing anyone they can. Despite the seemingly even odds, the party proceeds to gang up on the druid to force her out of her fire elemental form. The druid's concentration drops and the hellhounds vanish, leaving nothing in their place.
Stupid bitch.
Let's kill her, quick. Xaeli, Esmeralda, Irina, and Nala surround the druid and proceed to beat her into the ground.
I guess our endgame is always surround a motherfucker and kick the shit out of them.
But it works.
Well, that was fun. Everybody still alive?
I think so.
This meat tastes weird.
Oh guys, there's something in here that wants to be reclaimed from the cursed ones. Help purge corruption from the world.
Okay, we're doing that, so.
I personally feel like let me die now, but we should find it before we get out of here.
In the next episode, Nala uncovers a powerful artifact that could change the party's fortunes in the trials ahead.
Before you go, I have an announcement to make.
A new house elevated itself to the nobility of Peaceland. May I present to you the House of XX Redrum. May your house live long and prosper.
But seriously, XX Redrum, thank you so very much for your support. A special thank you to my incredible patrons for continuing to make this campaign series possible. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share my video on your Twitter, Facebook, or other social media, and make the leap to become one of my patrons on Patreon. As a patron, you gain exclusive access to my after the episode content and other benefits as well. I'll see you all next time.